there are 4 pillars to your broadcast media company, to your broadcast company. The first one is the stationery. And what represents the stationery? The website. It is information. The second one is social. Social media represents what? Blog, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, social bookmarking sites, all that. And as the website is for information, what's the social for? You remember? That's right. It's for, social is going to create the community, but it's for that interaction. Search media is your online search engine strategy. And that's so that you can interconnect with people. And sanctioned media is for people who have said, I want what you have to offer. The 4 pillars that if you invest in those 4 pillars, you can create your own online digital broadcast company that can reach all the people at all the times that they want to be reached. But there's one more thing that I want to show you before I go. And that's this. Now that you've created this unbelievable broadcast company, what are you going to say? Yeah, I'm the best. We have a phrase that we use that guides us in our company. Across our platforms of the many different companies we have, it's this. People speak thousands of words each day, and not one of them is lifetime memorable. Don't worry about finding an audience. When you have something to say, your audience will find you. How do you say something that's worth people going out and finding? Well, it can't be about you. It's just not what people want. People want to know what's in it for them. And when you're figuring out how to populate your broadcast company with content, there's basically 2 types of content that you can create. And the first one is information content. That informational content. And it's just the information that comes off the screen. This is important for people, again, who already have decided they want what you can sell them. People who already know what they want don't want a lot of fluff. They want the information, and not just the information about your business. They want to have the information about how your product is going to either make them reduce their pain or give them pleasure. That's all they're after. And so your information has to be geared around that. Remember the Denver CD rates that we talked about? Those people wanting that, searching for that, want that information right now. And if you don't deliver it to them, or you're not even on the top page of Google or top couple of pages, or you're nowhere to be seen, you know what they're going to do? Turn to someone else. Because they're not interested in finding out about your business. They're interested in about getting a CD. And if you can't deliver it for them and you're nowhere to be found, again, they'll turn somewhere else. But there's a second type of content. And this is the content that I have to be honest with you, that I enjoy the most and I think has the biggest potential for your business. And that's what I call the content that centers around a narrative or a story. We all walk around with several narratives in our head. And based on what your narrative on a particular situation is, what you see happen in the world will tell you, will determine whether or not, or how you view that particular situation in the world. It's the same thing from a marketing standpoint. People have in their minds, they're walking around with their own narratives in their head about credit unions, about CD rates, about home loans, about all that thing. There's a narrative that's out there. But you, as a marketing person, could write the story. But here's the interesting thing. To write the story, you have to write your customer in as the main character. You know, we all love stories. We love stories because we get to know the characters. We get to feel what they feel. We get to interact with them in a certain way in their own environment. Your business has that unique story, but for that story to be developed, that customer of yours has to be the hero. Now, how could you do that? Well, you take the spotlight off of your business and you put it on your customer and you say to yourself, what can I do to make her life better, to increase her pleasure or decrease her pain with one of my products? And then how do I write a narrative and a story around that? And how do I get involved in creating the community? Well, those two types of content will make the difference in whether or not your broadcast media company is successful. And it just so happens that those two pieces of content easily work into our 4 pillars. The information content is going to work on the stationary side and the search side. The people who need your product now and know it. But the people who don't need your product now but will need it in the future are hanging out in the social and the sanctuary, and that's where you develop the story. And here's the interesting thing about this. When you use both forms of this content, information and creating a narrative around your customer as the hero, what ends up happening is that your credit union will become a very much of a success, which will put a smile on your boss's face. So, if we real quickly reviewed everything that we've talked about, let's look at this whole presentation in what can be. We're not talking about what is. We're talking in what can be. Somebody tell me, what are the 4 pillars of a broadcast media company? Sanctioned, search, social, and stationary. Yeah, I don't care what order you put them in. It doesn't matter, as long as you have those four pillars. Once you build and create your broadcast media company, you have to have compelling content. What are the 2 types of content? Information that reaches the stationary and the search media, or he populates that, and then the narrative of the story, that's the social and the sanction. And what this will allow you to do is inform, interact, interconnect, and receive an invitation from people to do business with them. Does all that make sense? All right. Obviously, for us at Social Reach Media, we feel privileged that we can share this information. If there's anything that I can do to help, ask me. I'll show you anything that I can. If sometime down the road we can do business, great. You can contact us here. But I appreciate you having me. Thanks.